Get it straight, Buster. I'm not here to say please. I'm here to tell you what to do, and if self-preservation is an instinct you possess, you better do it, and do it quick. I'm here to help. If my help's not appreciated, then lots of luck, gentlemen. If I'm curt with you, it's because time is a factor. I think fast, I talk fast. I need you guys to act fast if you want to get out of this. So, pretty please, with sugar on top. Listen to Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond.
Would you like to learn from those that are taking their lives, their businesses, and their passions to the next level? Best-selling author of Speakeasy and master connector Lou Diamond is here to connect you to some of the most inspiring and amazing people on this planet. Get ready to thrive loud with Lou Diamond.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight. Walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away.
Welcome everyone to another spectacular episode of Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond, connecting you to the most inspiring and amazing people that are thriving each and every day. I'm your host, Lou Diamond. Today on Thrive Loud, we have a holistic nutritionist, health, mind, and Lyme expert. Through her own personal experiences, she has developed a passion to help others achieve optimal wellness and feel their best and make lasting, sustainable changes and revive from the inside out. Thrive Loud listeners, coming to us from Austin, Texas, Janna Johnson. Janna, how are you today?
Hey, Lou. I am doing great. Thanks for having me.
I had the good pleasure of connecting with Janna and many other people in the Unstoppable Mastermind. We'll give a shout out to Amberly right at the top of the show several months back. And we had a lot of fun, didn't we?
Yes, we did. It was awesome.
We had a lot of fun, real inspiration. And this group is pretty inspiring. And this individual, Janna Johnson, is especially inspiring. Janna, here's what I want you to do. I don't want you to go all the way back to the womb, but I kind of want to understand and help our listeners understand exactly how what you're focused on now became your gig.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in 2012, I got a bullseye rash on my leg. And at the time, I did not know what Lyme disease was. So I ignored it. And about 6 months later, my health fell apart. I went from a very healthy 31-year-old to a shell of a woman who couldn't take care of herself or her kids. And I went to many doctors and I got diagnosed with hypothyroidism and all sorts of other health issues, but I could never find the root cause. And I didn't stop searching because in my mind, I knew there was something else going on. I didn't go from a healthy person to couldn't function for no reason. It was more than my thyroid. So I found functional medicine, which functional medicine finds the root cause, whereas conventional medicine more or less puts a Band-Aid over it. So found functional medicine and testing showed I had Lyme disease pretty bad. And at that point, I started to research Lyme disease, saw the bullseye rash in images, and took me back to, at that point, a year and a half prior to when I had that on my leg. So I got diagnosed with Lyme disease, and it's not an easy disease to get rid of. Some people don't believe you can even get rid of it. And I chose to not believe that. And that led me down the road of learning medicine, functional medicine, nutrition, and healing myself. And it was a very difficult, long, scary process because there was no guarantee that I would get well. Yeah. And so I had to learn how to eat properly for my body. Sugar feeds all diseases. So I had to learn how to basically starve the disease out and eat in a manner that fed me and gave me the nutrients I needed, but did not feed the disease. And long story short, through that, I found nutrition, and it led me to where I am today, which is helping others to feel their very best from the inside out. And I had to change the way I ate, the way I approached life, my mindset, everything, the way I viewed medicine.
Rewinding a bit here, did you ever find out, where you got the bullseye from? Was it a tick bite, or where were you? Do you know?
It was, yes. So, people in where you live, Lyme disease is everywhere. Ticks are, and people don't realize that in the hill country here in Texas, there's a ton of deer ticks.
Yeah.
And I'm outside all the time. At that particular time, I did a lot of hunting, and so it was definitely from a deer tick for sure.
So I know that many people who've gotten the bullseye, there's some immediate, if you catch it really early and you're able to do it, there are some medical treatments that can, stop you even from getting Lyme disease, which basically can help the affected area. I want to make sure that correct, right? You're the expert in this area.
Correct. If you catch it early, then you can take a round or two of doxycycline, and that will pretty much knock it out. What happens is that if you don't catch it early, it's a corkscrew shaped bacteria, and it kind of buries itself into your tissues.
Yeah. Okay, so now this is an interesting thing. So obviously you didn't catch it early. You ended up with it. Help me understand a little bit about, can you share some of the symptoms of what you were going through? Because a lot of people hear about Lyme disease, but they don't actually exactly know what those are. Can you share that with the listeners?
Yeah, so the symptoms for me began with pain in my body, headaches, fatigued, lethargic. And then as they progressed, it was neurological that was so severe. I had horrible brain fog, anxiety, panic attacks, depression, derealization, which is horrific. Those were the symptoms that put me down to where I couldn't function anymore. So, Lyme disease has some very similar symptoms to other diseases.
Right.
And so it's kind of, they call it, a masquerade for disease because it mimics so many other things, and that makes it really hard to diagnose. So yeah, the neurological ones were the ones that affected me the most.
Okay. So Janna, you made a decision also to figure out how to starve. I love how you said this, to starve the Lyme disease and the disease within that, and taking those actions to help change the way that you needed to be to get the disease out of you.
Yes.
Has that tell me about the lessons that you've learned in nutrition along that for yourself. And obviously, have you now maintained that way of eating or the way that you maintain things in your regular daily life? Like, what did you give up and what did you take on?
Yeah. So I'll rewind just a little bit. Growing up, I ate the traditional American diet. My mom made pretty much meals every night, home cooked Southern food. So lots of fried foods, sugar, desserts were always made every weekend. And so that's how I grew up eating. And so that was, how I ate my whole life pretty much. And I was gluten-free at the time, but gluten-free does not mean healthy. It can still mean eating a lot of sugars, right? It just means you're just omitting a particular grain. So for me, it was a totally different way of life because I ate so much fruit, bananas, and things like that you think are just super healthy, and they can be. But when you're sick, you have to approach the way you eat and the way you do everything so much differently. And it was a process. So I was gluten-free. Then I learned about being, paleo when I was working with a nutritionist myself, once I found out I had Lyme disease. But that wasn't enough. And my constant research into healing yourself and getting better is what led me to finding the keto diet, but keto in the true sense of eating healthy, not just omitting grains at all, and carbs. So it was a huge change of life. And the hardest thing was that everybody else around me didn't understand it. And they all ate the same. And, I even had a few people that made fun of me for the way I ate. But Lou, when you're that sick, you will try and do anything to feel better. And so I was at that point to where I didn't care if I ate cardboard. I just wanted to feel better. And so I just omitted everything. I mean, I didn't have fruit. I didn't even have a blueberry for like 9 months. And I ate lots of healthy fats, clean proteins, lots of vegetables. And doing that and intermittent fasting allowed my body to heal. It gave me the nutrients I needed, but the sugar was omitted in all forms, and anything that would turn into sugar in my body. And doing that starved the disease out. And when I made that change in itself of how I ate, that was when things did a major turnaround in my health. And that was when I was like, wow, food is powerful. So with every bite of food, you're either feeding disease or you're starving it, right? So that's how I view it. And to your other question, if that's how I still eat, yes, I do. I eat very clean still. I'm pretty much a keto girl, but in a true sense. But I've gotten to a point now, it's been a long time since, I've healed. So if I want to have a little bit of non-glutinous grains or things like that, I will. But I do stay away from sugar 100% because it's just bad for you.
Janna, how long have you been healthy?
Well, since 2013.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So
9 years. Yeah.
At what point did you say, okay, what I did for me, I need to help others to do? And that's a big shift to not only be able to figure out how to fix your own issues, but now be able to shift it and be a guide to help others down this path who might be suffering from similar things, or all the benefits that you've had a chance to do that. When did that happen?
Yeah, it was kind of natural in a sense. I've always been kind of a nurturer at heart, and a healer, and wanting to make people feel better. And a turning point for me was being on the other side of health. So when I went from healthy to sick, and Lou, let me say this, it wasn't just sick, it was living with an invisible disease, right? I didn't look sick on the outside. I didn't have crutches or a cast or bruises or anything. No one could see my sickness, and living with an invisible disease is really, really hard. People judge you and question you all the time. And so I think being on the other side of health and then having to be my own advocate and, my own doctor in a sense, I just, this passion grew inside of me of wanting to help others feel better. I didn't want other people to have to go through the struggle I went through and the hardships of trying to find how to get well. I wanted to help someone else and give them the tools I have. And so in my mind, when I was really sick, I decided, if I'm going through this just to help one more person, send me through it. And it's become my passion, and people naturally gravitate to me for help with health. And so it's kind of a natural thing, but I think being on the other side of health was a huge turning point for me.
Janna, what did you do beforehand when you were sick? What was your line of work or the things that you worked on all the time?
Yeah, so I was a controller and did a lot of accounting and nothing to do with health.
Right.
I'm really good with math.
How healthy did it feel to get into this line of work versus the other line of work that you were doing? I'd love to hear, like, there's look, congrats that you're doing so well on your own health. Even more kudos that you're helping other people with it. But is it also a situation where maybe you found your passion and what you love to do more?
Absolutely. I was really good at what I did because I'm very anal and particular, and I'm really good with numbers. But I'll be honest with you, it was boring. And it wasn't fulfilling at all. And I always knew that there was something much bigger out there for me and something different. I did not know what that was. And I found my calling through this journey, through this sickness. And doing what I do now, it fills my soul. It brings me joy to see other people feel better and be healthy. It means everything to me.
So let's dive one more double click on this level that I want to drill down on, and that is helping people getting started on this path. Because Lots of people pick up different diets for different reasons, for weight gain or for other health issues, or just because they think it's the end thing to do or they want to try something new, what they eat. Although I don't recommend cardboard, although high in fiber, I would tell you never to have it. So how does, when you kick people off, how do you get people rolling and figure out, because not everyone has the same requirements and the same needs and what works. So share with the listeners a little bit about your program, which is all about, reviving. So to tell everybody what that's about and how that gets started and what's involved.
Yeah. So, people often think I'm just going to tell them what to eat, what supplements to take. And it's so much more than that. Oftentimes when people come to me, sometimes I'm their last resort, right? And then I just have the ones that are like, I just want to get well. I just want to feel better. What do I eat? It's a really deep dive that I do into someone's life and daily habits to understand where they are, what they do. Because I have to give my clients something and teach them something that's sustainable, because a diet has a beginning and an end. And I want to teach people how to eat for their lifestyle. So in doing that, I got to find their motivation and their reason for wanting to be healthy and kind of go off of that. Because people that have to eat on the go or travel a lot, I'm gonna help them differently than I am someone who works from home all the time. And then of course, man versus woman, things like that. So finding someone's motivation and their reason for getting well, teaching them how to overcome the slip ups. Those are the biggest things.
Gotcha. Lyme itself, I want to hit this before we pull the curtain back and learn a little bit more about Janna. Has, since the time that you were diagnosed with Lyme disease, have there been advancements in the ability to detect it a little sooner? To your point, because it acts as a masking disease and it looks like a lot of other things that are going on, have they been able to at least laser in a little bit more and do those tests more often to figure out if you have it? Totally unknown about this. I know I've had friends who've had Lyme and know how serious it can be. And a lot of it is about that detection piece. Any advancements or things that they're trying to improve upon in that area?
They're constantly improving on the testing for sure. Conventional medicine, the tests just aren't there. In fact, when I was trying to figure out what was wrong with me, I had tons of conventional tests done, even tested for Lyme disease, and came back negative. So when I got to functional medicine and when I was sick and they asked about that, I was like, yes, but it's come back negative. They said, well, the test that we do in functional medicine, which of course insurance doesn't pay for, is totally different. So at that time, that was, functional medicine test is how it figured it out. But then after I got well and I got pregnant with my third child, I wanted to get tested again because Lyme can be passed down to the fetus. Mm-hmm. And at that point, even more advanced testing had come out. And it's even more clear than the previous tests that I had done years prior to that. And now today, which is now 7 years later from the last time I was tested for it, the tests are even more advanced. Unfortunately, though, it is typically tests that insurance doesn't pay for. And that's one of the biggest problems, Lou, that we have with the testing for Lyme.
Interesting. I kind of figured they're going to make a leap on that one just because it seems like, first of all, let's also talk about the fact that Lyme, which for those who don't know this, it's created from Lyme, Connecticut, which is a town that they identified where this stuff was, where there is a lot of deer. And oh, by the way, Connecticut is the insurance capital of the world. You would figure these two guys would get together on the same page.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work. Conventional medicine, insurance, and it doesn't work.
Anyway. All right. So I love asking guests this question, and I know this is great. By the way, what a good story. And I'm so glad that you're healthy and well, and I'm so glad that you're helping others do the same.
Thank you.
And on top of that, this means that you're thriving on most days, or at least you try to be. Your mom.
I try my very best.
On the days you're not thriving, what practice do you seek out or an individual that you seek to help you get back on the thriving track?
Yeah. We definitely all have bad days, and my best today might not be my best, tomorrow. So when I'm having one of those off days and you start to get into my own head, I have to recenter myself. So for me, it's remembering my purpose. It's going outside and getting fresh air and just reconnecting again. Music is very therapeutic for me. So that always gets me back in a really good headspace. I do a lot of writing and articles and things like that. And so I have to constantly put myself in this creative space. I do that with music and laughter, talking to someone who always, knows how to make me smile. Things like that always put me back in that good place and remember that I'm doing the best I can do today.
I like it. We're going to do the plug section right now, the little admin piece here. I want you to share with the listeners, Janna, all the places people can find you, websites, URLs, social handles, etc. You also have something else launching really, really soon. I think this is the opportunity for you to share that with everybody. So give it away. We'll put it in the show notes, but it always gets more engaged when they hear it from you.
Yes. So I'm super excited to announce I have my very own podcast coming up in January. It's in production now, Revive with Janna. And I'm going to be sharing my story, my journey. I hope to be a source of inspiration and motivation to others who are in this healing process. And so I'm recording episodes as we speak, and that's coming out in January. So it'll be on every platform. So look out for it.
Okay. Give us also the social handles and the websites. Where can we find you?
Yes. ReviveByJanna.com is my website, and you can find me on Instagram and Facebook, Revive by Janna as well. And I definitely do more posting on Instagram for sure. Yeah.
She does. She's very active, folks. We can see her out there. All right. We've been having, and by the way, thank you for this education. We always try and balance things up on Thrive Loud a little bit. Like we got to let people learn a little bit.
It.
And then we also need to have a little bit of fun. So I want to navigate towards
Always.
Fun Street here. So can you share with the listeners what you shared with me was one of your all-time favorite movies?
Yes. Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken. There's probably a lot of people that have not heard of it. It's a movie that I remember watching when I was a young girl, and it's a story of a girl overcoming the odds and never giving up. No matter what came her way, she never gives up. And I feel like that's me. I feel like I've always had to be a warrior and a fighter. And so that movie really resonates with me.
Super. I like it. We're going to do the kind of rapid fire Fun Street speed round here. I'm going to throw in a couple of curveballs because I know Janna can handle it. And are you ready for this?
Oh, goodness.
Most of the things I'm going to be asking you will lift you up, make you feel good. They're all things that make you thrive. So I know you can handle it. All right. Since you like music, first of all, what kind of music do you like most?
Wow. I have an eclectic taste of music. I love Metallica. I love country. I also love rap. I love electronic dance music. So there's not a whole lot I don't love. This time of year, a whole lot of Christmas music.
Okay, so we're in the Christmas season here. What is your Christmas song or jingle or tune go-to choice? What's the one? Because we hear whatever store we walk into, whatever shopping center we're at, we hear it in the background. What's the one that you like the most? The one that all of a sudden you start singing along with?
Winter Wonderland. I sing that to my kids all the time. So I have 3 kiddos, and they love it when I sing to them because I sing loud. No, they don't.
That love it seemed a little sarcastic. I got the general joke. There was a wink.
Winter Wonderland is one of my all-time favorites, and Jingle Bells. Yeah.
Got it. All right. A favorite food of yours today that's not a dessert.
I love avocados and I love fresh fish. I cook a lot of fish, and it's one of my favorite things to cook, and I eat a lot of that. So.
All right.
Yeah.
And do you have a favorite dessert? Is there dessert in any form of your menu?
So I do have a favorite dessert. I'm a chocolate lover, and there is an amazing brand out there, Chalk Zero, that is healthy chocolate, that's healthy fats, that is sweetened with monk fruit, and it's actually good for you.
I like it.
So, yeah.
An activity Janna Johnson wishes she did more of.
Oh, play tennis. I was a tennis player growing up, and I used to play all the time, and it's just gotten to where just quite can't get to the court, but I wish I played more tennis.
You have a great name for like a professional tennis. Janna Johnson, that's like straight up there in the sports names. Right
Coming
there.
up on Wimbledon.
You could start playing pickleball now, maybe, if you can't get enough tennis.
Oh, no pick. I'm not that old yet. Just tennis.
Hey,
tennis.
watch yourself.
Wait, sorry, Lou.
Some of us old people still like that game, mostly because I can't serve anymore in tennis.
Sorry, Lou.
An activity you wish you did less of.
Well, sometimes I wish I did less work because I can get really focused in on it. But at the same time, that's my passion and my drive, right? But sometimes it takes me away from doing other things.
Okay. What's one of those other things that you'd like to do if work was not getting in the way, other than tennis?
Oh, other than tennis, just reading books, organizing. I know that sounds so boring, right? You're a mom and getting older when you love to organize. And I think about all these closets and drawers. I'm like, oh, I need to organize that drawer. So I know it's a boring answer, but
Are you a reorganizer or a purger? Like somebody who
both.
needs to get rid of all? You're both. Okay, that's good.
I am known for throwing things away of other people's if it's been sitting out too long.
I like it.
I am. I'm like, well, you should have put it up where it went because I thought you were done with it.
Janna Johnson, if I could snap my fingers and you could be anywhere in the world, where are you?
The beach, always.
Oh, it's okay. There's lots of beaches in this world. Is there a certain destination beach?
So I've always wanted to go to Greece or Fiji. So I'll list places I've never been. So
those are good. I like that.
I'm like,
can
snap
only
your
imagine.
fingers, Lou. I'm there.
Let's get there. Last thing, you're obviously launching this podcast. You're working with all your clients and helping them get to this other level. A final message you want to give to people about maybe the blessing that you were given by getting through what you've been going through, and a message you can give to them to help them each and every day.
Yeah. There's a lot of things I would like to say on that, but I think the most important thing is listening to your gut, and you have to be your own self-advocate. There's a lot of noise out there, and you have to sometimes just shut it off and focus on yourself. Take care of yourself. We have this one life to live, right? Time's going to go by no matter what. So you can look back and be glad you did something, or look back and wish you would have. And so that's how I approach life. And I try to teach my clients that. And you have this one body and you got to take really good care of it. So, yeah.
Janna Johnson, truly a pleasure to have you on Thrive Loud today. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Lou.
You got it. And to all listeners out there, thank you for joining us. And until next time, keep moving onward and upward. And remember, be brief, be bright, be gone.
In a winter wonderland. Walking in a winter wonderland.
You've been listening to Thrive Loud with your host, Lou Diamond. Check us out on the web at thriveloud.com and follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at Thrive Loud. And check us out on the Good Pods app at Thrive Loud, where you can follow, listen, and connect directly to Lou and all of the Thrive Loud episodes. Thanks for listening.